Yo, what is good? Bro, I'm not gonna lie. These are like horrible clips, just saying like horrible. But I just need something to like talk behind. I wanna say is this. I might become a cat player. Because what I've noticed with Caviar, I feel like the first thing I've noticed with Caviar is like I'm obsessed with popping every hatch. And you may think you pop every hatch, that's a bot play. No, hear me out. I feel like when it comes to like popping hatches, it's like you can start from sight, get demos tracked, and then you could begin the roam off of sight. So they will still think you're in sight, but then again, like it's like wait, it's like you can clearly see she's in sight. Then right after that demo scan, you can start off your roam just off that information. You know what I'm saying? And it goes a long way from like jackal scans, lion scans. There's all different scenarios where you wouldn't do what you would do with a different operator scanning you. When you're a carrier. But that's the big thing I noticed. It's just I like to pop hatches. Like if I'm gonna pop a hatch, I'm gonna pop this hatch for a reason, and that's just bare minimum. But what I really want to say is like, bro, like she's so good when it comes to catching people off guard. It's like I I kind of like slow down on that because I think about visual. Like for example, like he can't get scanned by drones. He can't get seen by drones. What else? He's so good. Even Deimos, even he can counter Deimos. He can counter Jackal. He can counter Grim. He can counter all these operators that need a visual or like a imprint scan. Imprint is a good word to use. Scan to like get you, like hey, someone's here. Like information. But just on a Caviar alone, I believe she can be a good operator. And I mean, of course, she's good, but she's not used as much, because there's a lot of things to counter Caviar and herself. But when it comes to a smart mindset, any player could be good to that person. Like you may think Caviar is bad in your hands, but give it to a player who actually knows like the map. Like that would be a good Caviar. And like we've all witnessed like good Caviar plays. We've all witnessed bad Caviar plays. We've all witnessed Caviar plays that make us believe this person is good or bad just based on gameplay on the Caviar. Like we've all been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it is raining, so it's like, bro, like it it's yeah, I do enjoy this rain, I'm gonna lie. But anyways, back on topic. Yeah, Caviar. Brain rot, 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 brain rot. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my gosh, Caviar is so good. She can do this, she can do that. Like we all know this. Like we all know what she can do. We all know what she's known for. We all know how scary she can be. And like it's something where like I don't know, like if you wanted to make a player be scared to like even enter the building with like how can I put this into words? Like if you would want an attacker to be scared to enter the building while you're Caviar, the best thing you can do is always voice crack. Is always keep eyes on them. And that's why I believe starting a late and mid roam is very important. And I would break that down in a better sense because I feel like when it comes to that point, it's like, bro, nothing can stop a Caviar when she knows what she is doing. Nothing can stop her. Nothing. Like it's like playing. It's like playing. I can't even speak. It's like playing against a good visual. It's like visual versus Caviar. It's like how would that work? It's like not to say that they're both defenders, but it's like, bro, like imagine Caviar versus visual, bro. Like who would get the most like melee kill? Like who would get the most like sneaky kill? Like who would get the most kills out of Caviar and visual if it was down to that? But it's like that ain't the issue. But the point is like, bro, she's so good, and I believe every operator is good in Siege, but it's just a percentage on it. It's like anybody can say Caviar is like a 30% chance of a win rate. And It can't go higher than that. Maybe 31. But that's just where she stands. It don't matter how good you are as a Caviar player. You're gonna probably get killed with her, but you probably won't really win with her if your team is not, being compliant. Your team is not, team. If your team is not being a team. So just to say, like, every operator in the video game is good, but they're good in certain scenarios. Sins, for example. Sins was called horrible. She wasn't being touched. She was bad. They gave her the ability to turn on or off her roly polies, I call. She has the ability to turn them on and off. She got hard breaches, and I'm not saying it gave her a better pick rate, but now she's usable. She's able to be used. Like in some kind of scenario. It could be a quick plant. It could be a fake plant. It could be something that can make the enemy team be like, oh yeah, this is very annoying. And then next round, that player who's annoying ends up getting banned, or yeah. I'm not gonna lie, you gotta mind the dog, cause I got nowhere else to go to make this vlog, and it's raining, so she gonna be doing this bullshit, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, this bitch get on my nerves, bro. I'm sorry. Anyways, a site roam. When I mean site roam, is like it's self-explanatory, but what I mean by that is like you can roam site when like the round starts, like for the first minute or so, maybe 30 seconds. They might they're gonna scan you. Like they scan you, they drone, they see if you're roaming, and they realize, oh, you're inside site. Okay, cool. No need. Mind you, they're still gonna have set up drones, so don't let that get over your head. Cool, CAV's in sight. All of a sudden, boom, you drop hatch and then you're roaming. That simple. Now it comes to a point of a mindset. It's like, okay, these guys don't know I'm roaming, but they know I'm Caviar. So anything could happen. There's two things could happen. One, you need to be ready for a fight. Two, you need to prepare for a face up, like a challenge. Because once you get called out, the rule book doesn't change, but the formation changed. So it's like you may have two attackers push up white, two on skylight, and then one doing what they do best. If they call you out, Caviar roaming, that scan's going off. Two or one person is gonna scan for you, and the other 4 and 3 are gonna like play like it's normal. If you get a kill or a knock, that's when the rule book changes. Now this Caviar is getting knocks, getting kills. So it's very good to start off playing inside of sight, and then when it comes to a point where like you have to roam, but don't get seen. Because I'm telling you, if you get seen trying to mid roam in the middle of the round, you would fuck over the whole team. That's a easier push of like better aggression and also timing. If they swipe out the site before you get upstairs for a flank, I'm not gonna lie, you might have to fight a 3v1 or a 3v4 or like maybe like a 3v2. Rarely a 3v5 if you're that bad as a Caviar player. But it's like, just be mindful, like if you start off as a roamer in sight and then you roam right after when the round begins, that's cool, but there's ways to do it though. That's just my point. And it pretty much puts a benefit on your end as a teammate in your team, because it's like, hey bro, I have the upper hand. They know I'm Cav, but they don't know I'm roaming. And that scan won't come about in like the next 30 minutes. I'm tripping, 30 seconds, like maybe a minute. Minute tops. It's not gonna come about like in the first minute. So you have time to like do call outs, be aggressive, knock someone. You have time to do things. But when that second when that second scan comes about, you have to be ready, bro. So it's like, just it's scary as a player, but it's also scarier as an attacker, because if you're a good Caviar, you won't get scared. You're gonna like you will strike fear in your enemy. You know what I mean? Now, when it comes to roaming off site, as a Caviar player, bro, when you make routes, please do not take the first route when you leave that site. When I say site, meaning when you leave that like route you have. Like as you can see here, I have routes that I dead ass use in game. You know, it's like it's not like I'm just doing this cause no. Like if I'm playing Caviar and sight is not where it's at, I'm gonna play upstairs or downstairs, and I'm gonna have beepers and I have a route. Like my route is not to be used back to back, but it's my route to let them like it's like a rat trap. You know, it's like I know my route. Do you? So it's like the moment you enter a Cavier's route, you're screwed because she knows. You know, like you're in a house that you don't belong in. Like you're in this like you entered the wrong dorm, basically. But point is, sorry, the first route you make, do not take that route a second time. Let's just say the site is not upstairs and you're playing upstairs and you have a, there you go, under. And you have a route that goes between dorms and kids. If you get seen taking that route or not being seen, it doesn't matter. Take that route the first time. Don't have the habit of taking the route consistently because they're going to catch up on that route. And 10 out of 10, no, 12 out of 10, you would get cut off. So if you take that route the first time, do not take it again. There's a thing I do where I barricade a route where it's only a one way. So if I leave that route, I will have to like destroy a barricade to get back into that route. And that's the main point. That route alone that's barricaded, once that barricade breaks, that's a clear sound cue, a clear indication someone is over there. It could be someone's there, someone's over there, someone's pushing there. Anything that rhymes with someone's over there, that is your sound cue. And that is why I like to barricade certain routes to where that it's not a tunnel. I only want a route. I don't want a tunnel where it's like a endless, like, you know, hamster wheel. No, I want to have things closed off. So where if I need to have cover, like even something small as like hearing shooting, I can know someone is trying to clear this before pushing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like being a Caviar player is very important because you have the patience. Like literally you decide to give patience. That might not sound like that might not make sense, but it's the more fast you are as a Caviar player, the more slower the team gets. The more slower you are as a Caviar player, the faster the attack gets. Does that make any sense? So it's like you have to know how to balance speed and patience and timing. And that's why I like to barricade certain rotations, aka routes, because I don't want to get closed off having someone sit on my rotation waiting for me to come through the shit again. That's why I say the first rotate you take as a Cav, do not take it again. You use your route, take the first route, take your second, take your third, you skip the first, take the second, take the first, you end up at the third. That's how confusing it is, but it makes perfect sense if you have it in action. And now, let's just say you're already in sight. You know, like, sight downstairs. It's pretty tough to leave sight if you want to leave sight. If you're like, you know, smaller sites like cafe, you have kitchen, you know, for example, in prep, and you have freezer, you have dining, you have the bake area, you know, you have red hallway, you know, you have Christmas, you know, you have all these things that can not benefit you as a CAV player. Why? Because site is so small and it's so close to the outside. If you try to start a mid roam at a good time in your head, it's bad timing in reality, because now they can catch you off guard. They can, you know, wall bang you from some whatever. But point is, when it's sites like this, you would want to roam as soon as the round starts. Not mid, as soon as. Because you don't want to get caught up in a trap where it's like they're baiting you to a point where like they want you to, like, you know, get active. No. The moment the round starts, do site setup, blah, blah, blah. Listen, bro. Listen to me. Do not roam with phase. Roam when sight. Bro, what? Do not roam in the setup phase. Roam when the phase is over. I'm telling you, it would make perfect sense in the end. So when the game starts, then you roam. So now it's like a fresh, it feels like a fresh beginning in a way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it comes to that, you wouldn't want to get caught up in the smallest things only because you're just trying to catch someone off guard. Because you have to realize now, when especially in kitchen and cafe, when kitchen is getting pushed, people love to like not even get ace, but people love to flood one spot just to hold other corners. It's like, bro, and then you have the rotation instead of sight. What is it? Is it the kitchen area where like is it like a rotation? It goes through red staircase, and then you go up the second floor. Am I tripping or what? Then it's that I don't know what it's called, but anyways. But yeah, you wouldn't want to get caught up in a scenario where it's like you literally ran, voice crack. You literally ran into the enemy's hands only because you roamed at the right time, but it was bad timing. In reality, you know what I'm saying? So it's like learn how to balance timing, patience, and also like knowing where to go. Like it just Then again, I don't expect you to be like a mastermind, but like try to visualize how enemies push. Listen to gun sound, listen to gunshots, listen to people getting knocked. Because I feel like when people get knocked, as like in your teammate wise, you can have a visualization of like where they push from. Because it's not really using your teammate as bait, but is using your teammate as information. Like you're in sight. How'd you get knocked? Like you have to visualize. Okay, if he can knock inside, he has to be on the wall. He has to be outside. Like make a prediction when it comes to that. But like me, like always, have fun, GG's, and that is how I would want you to think about Caviar.